Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on wherever you are in the world. My name is Diane Tucker, and I am the CEO and the founder of Divine Movement Making Successful Individuals, or DMMSI for short. I am also the governing director of the Black Technology Mentorship Program. Today, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about education within the metaverse and the importance of making sure that we are ensuring that everybody is able to receive education the way that they digest information. And so I'm going to dive right in, make sure I'm keeping track of my time over here. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. All right, there we go. And so in order to make sure that everybody is receiving education globally the way that's best for them, we really need to upgrade education to the 21st century. And a 21st century education is not a bunch of students just sitting at their desk, or in this day and age, sitting behind a Zoom screen, writing down every word that the teacher is saying, or just making sure that they're studying based upon the test that they have to take so that they can get an A+, assuming that every single student's on the same path. But when done correctly, 21st century education, it really creates an environment and an arena in which students are engaged in actively shaping their own learning. We should be taking time to help students learn how to learn by inspiring their creativity, encouraging them to be innovative, encouraging them to do more collaboration, and then also expecting and rewarding when they're using critical thinking and actually incorporating teaching the power of communication and the importance of it. Now, had schools, nations, and all that been proficient in 21st century education, when COVID hit and school shut down, we probably wouldn't have seen such a dip in learning. Now, unfortunately, we weren't proficient in delivering 21st century education. And that has resulted in the achievement gap growing. And now it's also resulted in something called the COVID slide. And so what is this COVID slide that I'm talking about? So when schools were forced to shut down in 2020 and make drastic changes on how they were delivering education, there was a significant dip in students' literacy and math achievements. And by the time students returned back to school in 2020 and 2021 school year, students are pretty much on average equivalent to 2 to 3 months behind in terms of their math and reading literacy. And so this deficit is known as the COVID slide. But imagine having schools and countries already proficient in 21st century education, and then COVID hits. Then when school shut down, we wouldn't have really had to prepare to transition to remote learning, because things would have pretty much already been taught on the technology and delivered in means that students were already used to. It just would have switched from being in school to at home. So now let's switch a little bit more in our mindset. And when I have several businesses. I oversee about 7 companies right now. And when we are thinking of our product and our services and how to get that out to our customers and how to promote to them, we do target market research. We really think about, okay, what is it that our customers like to see? How do they digest information? Where are they at? What mediums are they on? And we honestly need to start to customize education like we market to our customers. And so, unfortunately, most students continue to be educated in the same way as they were in the past. They're being taught according to standardized curriculum, through memorization or repetition learning. Not only that, but learning's delivered in a one-size-fits-all pace. And so there's a lot of students that are struggling to learn because they're disengaged. They lack the motivation. And there are many students that are pretty much wondering why they have to go to school when they can learn the same information faster by watching a YouTube video or playing a video game. So past methods of education make little sense to today's students when we think of how they learn and think differently. And so let's start looking at delivering education like a business. So who are our target market for the 21st century education? Our Generation Z and Generation Alpha. Now, these are individuals that are increasingly advanced users of technology, even before they step foot in a classroom on that first day in kindergarten or preschool. So taking a little deeper dive at each of these generations. Now, the Generation Zers, these are individuals that are born between 1995 and 2009. Most of them do not remember life without the internet and have had technology like smartphones, iPads, and other devices throughout most of their schoolings. Thinking about their characteristics, they're diverse, and they are actually the most multicultural generation yet. They're change makers. They're interested in innovation and entrepreneurship. They like to think and explore their ideas. They're dreamers who follow their passions. So when marketing to Generation Z, or rather when delivering educational content to them, we need to think of the following things. Now this generation, they're digital natives. Now, while the millennials used on average about 3 screens, Generation Z uses about 5. They expect content to move as seamlessly around digital devices as they do, meaning their educational content needs to move seamlessly around the devices that they're using. They're authentic. They like to have two-way conversations. It's a must. So initiating two-way conversations online and creating a social presence that Generation Zers can engage with is really key. They really value the opinions of their peers. And so when marketing to them, that's a really powerful tool. But having an education and going in one direction, just where the teacher's just talking at the students, it's not really going to work for them. They need to have their voice be heard. And they like to hear from their peers too. So having assignments where they can get peer feedback, it's going to be huge. And so making sure that there's a two-way stream of communication and education is going to be key for them. Not only that, they like to make things their own. They like to take control and ownership of their education journey. And so being able to do that along with some guidance and mentorship is going to be huge in the metaverse for Generation Zers. Not only that, quality matters. So thinking about this generation, they're on their devices, they're playing video games, they're watching videos, and there's high quality content on there. Now, when they go to school and the quality is not matching what they're seeing on a day-to-day, just in their general scrolling or whatnot, they can get disengaged. The quality of the education and the content that's being delivered needs to step up. Not only that, but video content is really key for them. Being able to digest educational content is a huge format for them. So that's the Generation Zers. Now, Generation Alpha, this is our younger generation. Individuals born since 2010. They're younger than the smartphones and iPads, Instagram, music streaming apps like Spotify, but yet they're the most technology savvy generation we have. So in marketing to them, we need to deliver education content in a way that, like the Generation Zers, video content is really key for them. Having digital video interactive is really key for Generation Alpha. They like to be interactive. They've had technology their whole lives. Therefore, interacting the internet and the social aspect of learning is really key. But not only that, but with this generation, what's key for them is they like to have a choice. And so they're very opinionated. Now, this generation, even though they're so young, they've stayed up to date on what's taking place in the world. And they've been watching news since they were little. And now these kids like to form their own opinions, even at a young age. So giving them choices within education is going to be key. And also it gives the students control over their learning preferences. And so as a EdTech CEO, thinking about how I can do my part to provide 21st century education. So at DMMSI, we've broken away from traditional out-of-the-box educational services. And we provide programs and resources that help people invest in themselves. And we do this through innovation, creativity, high engagement, and by listening to individuals and what their needs are and how they want to experience education. And so today I just want to focus a little bit on what we're doing in the K-12 space and how you can kind of pull some nuggets into how to improve things that you're delivering for education as well. So at DMMSI, we created this program called Solution to forge a path for academic support. But let me stop right there. I know you're looking at this and saying, why in the world is there a 7 where the T should be? So at DMMSI, we're bringing together the core foundation of reading, writing, and arithmetic, the 3 R's, with the 4 C's, communication, creativity, collaboration, and critical thinking. And so with the 3 R's and the 4 C's, we add that together and you've got the 7, hence the 7 in the middle of Solution. And so Solution is preparing students for the high demands of their future in academic pursuits by providing a remote environment to improve their reading and writing literacy, but also we've gamified learning to increase their educational knowledge in math, language arts, science, and social studies. So just to touch upon some of the things we just talked about in regards to the Generation Z and Generation Alpha, I'm going to break down how Solutions engages and incentivizes students to take back control over their self-directed learning and set their own goals for prizes. So first and foremost, students need to feel like they have a voice and that they can receive guidance that's not scripted, out of the box wording that every other student is receiving. What we do is we provide mentoring alongside this program. So just providing educational services and a remote program is pretty much doing a disservice to students. But when you match mentoring with the educational services, it really takes things to another level. And so imagine a student being able to talk with a college student, or imagine a K through 12 student being able to talk with a college student or professional on why they need to learn a certain topic in 8th grade and how that might benefit them later on in life. Or better yet, a student may be struggling with learning remotely and would like to talk out their frustrations on how to improve their study habits. Another thing we do is we provide self-paced learning so that each student learns at their own pace. Not everybody's student's journey is going to be the same, and no 2 students has the same one, but their journey is customized based upon their individual learning knowledge. We also like to incorporate gamification and engagement. So no matter how you look at it, making obvious progress and eventually winning is great. And when students are winning, they feel more engaged in their learning. And so we have a practice portal where students gather as many points as possible to really improve their profile or get on the leaderboard. And in the reading portal, after students finish a book and submit a book report, they earn points. And then these points can be accumulated to spend on prizes within our redemption store for electronics, tablets, games, and what have you. Now, we talked about being able to deliver content on mediums that Generation Zers and Alphas are used to. And so what we do is we have a digital library. And so they have thousands of books readily available at their fingertips in either a mobile device or a laptop. And it's customized based upon each student's starting reading level, lexile. And then books are recommended to them based upon where they're starting at and to help them improve their reading. Students like to have control. We do not offer set hours on when they should participate in Solutions. So students set their own times for learning and they're practicing when they want to read and write and learn when it's convenient to them. And so this in turn turns the control of their learning journey over to them. We also talked about students liking to have options and choices, and we've incorporated that within innovation. And so we want students to tap into their creative and innovative side. Therefore, with our book reports, we don't have traditional plots, characters, what's the theme of the book or whatnot. But pretty much there's no fun in that. So we encourage students to write out of the box book reports. And one example of that is we ask a student to turn the book that they just read into a movie script. And so not only that, but we give several choices of the type of book reports they want to submit. And so these are just some examples of how DMMSI uses our target market research to deliver educational content to K through 12 students through solutions based upon how they digest and view this content. And so solution is now, it serves as an add-on for schools and organizations by providing a way to transition to digital classrooms, serving as an extension of an after-school program, or just providing a virtual arena for students to have extra practice outside of the classroom. But it also helps homeschoolers by allowing parents and students to take ownership of their learning and academic support. And so I know I just went through a lot of information on how to start doing market research to really structure how educational content is delivered to our students of today. And so really want to just ask you guys to really take some time to start thinking of, okay, what are some ways that we can transition our educational content to really match the needs and the way students of today are receiving information? Because that's going to be key in the metaverse, is making sure that every single student can receive quality education that's catered to them on an individual level, that is able to be digested at their own pace and speed, and on mediums that they enjoy learning. And so I just want to thank you for your time. I hope that you were able to gain some valuable nuggets on what I shared. If you ever need to reach out to me or would like to learn a bit more about the different projects I'm working on, you can always visit www.dianentucker.com. I really hope that you enjoy the rest of the Gatherverse Summit. Thank you for your time. And until next time, you guys take care. Bye.